You only need to know me. I will be the one.
Based on One Piece chapter 1125, with the ending of Egghead Island and the seizing of the Mother Flame, the killing of Saturn and the promotion of Saint Figarland to Garling, what is becoming increasingly clear is that the king of the world, Imu Nerona, is not normal. None of this is normal, and that's saying something given this is One Piece, a world full of crazy powers. But without question, Imu and the Gorosei have tapped into ancient powers akin to the dark arts, forbidden knowledge. These powers are demonic. Their origin is demonic. And based on Joy Boy's sealed Haki or Haki time bomb, affecting not just the Gorosei, but Imu from miles away. Saturn growing extremely old, his elimination also occurring from a long distance away. Imu Nerona appears to be the source of the power of the Gorosei. Saturn apparently loses his powers and Imu seems to take them away. And so it's increasingly likely that not only is Imu not normal, he could even be the Sea Devil. Why? Well, I dropped a good video on this a while back. You can see it on the screen here. But with the updated information from chapter 1125 and the death of Saturn, it's clear Oda has written Imu as a sort of devil god. That in the ultimate story about freedom and the pursuit of it, Imu is a bad god, an oppressive force in the world, to contrast a good god, the sun god, freedom versus slavery. God giveth and God taketh away. God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the creator and destroyer of all things. The Gorosei even refer to Imu as the creator when speaking to him and mentioning the will of the creator, the will of God. In this case, the will of the devil. Imu's portrayal in the story aligns itself with creation and destruction, butterflies in a flower garden as well as storms and the wrath of God falling from the sky above to destroy an island, or now the destruction of Saturn, destroying a planet. In a way, you make a deal with the devil, you are expected to hold your end of the bargain. The Sea Devil is said to have created devil fruits, and so the Sea Devil's incarnations that Shanks spoke of. The Sea Devil was simply taking its power back from the Gorosei Saturn if true. Those satanic pentagrams were an early clue of how different the devil fruit powers of the Gorosei are. In the case of the Gorosei, they are gifts or loans that can be taken back. In the case of others who have eaten your typical devil fruit, even mythical devil fruit ability, they are prized possessions, stolen treasure from the sea, maybe, from the Sea Devil. Also, Saturn's death does have some overlap with the scary stories out there about what happens when you eat more than one devil fruit. We were told you would explode if you ate more than one, and now we see something similar happen to Saturn despite him only having one power, as far as we know. So it seems there are numerous circumstances where you can be punished for violating the devil's contract, if we can call it that. What happens when somebody sells their soul to the devil? Your soul belongs to the devil thereafter, in exchange for whatever gift or power he gives you. This favor comes with a cost. Something I haven't seen others mention is how Saturn is revealed to have gone against orders, acted on his own, disobeyed the will of the creator Imu, you could argue, when he salvaged the remains of the ancient giant robot, and said he would take responsibility if it was ever found out what he did. The only person that could punish a Gorosei is another Gorosei, or Imu, which is exactly what happens in chapter 1125. I don't know for sure if this is Saturn losing his devil fruit powers or even whatever immortality might have been shared with him by Imu, since Imu is believed to have benefited from the immortality operation. Maybe Imu, like a devil, has the power to share his power with others. Again, God giveth and taketh away. The contract or pact you can make with a devil a favor for a favor. We do see a blast of conquerors or some black lightning energy released as Saturn dies, or explodes. Could this be Oda's version of a conqueror's hockey force choke? Kind of like from Star Wars. Is it a hockey ability that only some like Imu and a few others are capable of performing? Hundreds of years of developing that ability. Or it could be something that's unique to Imu in general. Imu willing Saturn out of existence from far away. Are the Gorosei really conjurings of Imu's power? Or is he simply taking power back from them? Why else would they explode? And will the yokai Delvu power of Saturn be given to Figarland Garling, or will he get his own unique ability? But Saturn is punished for letting the Straw Hats escape, instead of for what he did 200 years ago in chapter 1125 as it's revealed. What Saturn did 200 years ago by preserving the ancient giant robot. So Saturn indirectly predicted his own punishment and death, I guess, as it is only another Gorosei or Imu again that could punish him. Or maybe the Holy Knights have some manner of jurisdiction over the Gorosei, as it is revealed that the Holy Knights, from the vantage point of Saint Figarland Garling as their supreme commander, it is revealed that the Holy Knights are the ones that levy out judgment against other celestial dragons. I believe this happened to one of the Don Quixote family members for being too kind to the fishmen. And for attacking another celestial dragon, he was given a death sentence, executed on holy land. And so what Saturn has essentially done is reveal that there are consequences for failing Imu, which I've suggested before. There are consequences in real life for failing the king, even for failing God. Again, we see how Figarland Garling treated a lower celestial dragon, executing him for violating the ways of the gods. And so what Imu did to Saturn should not come as a surprise. But with the death of Saturn comes a few theories that we need to get to now, and they concern the Holy Knights. So Saint Figarland Garling has become the new Gorosei member after the death of Saturn. People are saying that Figarland Garling is the moon, given his crescent moon hairstyle, obviously. I've been wondering how close the relationship of Imu is to Garling and the other Holy Knights ever since realizing that one of them might be the mysterious person in the garden room with Imu, as it seems there are others besides the Gorosei that know of Imu's existence. But the crescent moon hairstyle of Garling, the moon is closest to the planet Earth relative to the other planets that similarly orbit the sun. The moon orbits the Earth. Does this mean Figarland Garling is closest to planet Earth, the ruler of Earth in One Piece? Figarland Garling is closest to the king of the world, Imu Narona, under this new hierarchy and planetary arrangement of celestial bodies, then. Garling would be the moon, and surprisingly the closest to Imu, if Imu were a representative of the Earth. Could he become Imu's right hand or the second strongest world government member after Imu instead of Nasajuro? As many of us have been thinking, Nasajuro was the second strongest person in the world government. There's a lot that we still need to wait on happening, but for now let's focus on Garling's promotion and what this says about him, as well as the future of the Holy Knights and what role they might play in the story. Saint Figarland Garling joining the Gorosei is important for so many reasons. I think the Holy Knights are about to get active. Dragon already warned us about this. Oda chose to show us what the Gorosei can do prior to revealing what the Holy Knights can do. We've seen every other faction of One Piece fight for the most part, not the Holy Knights. Garling joining the Gorosei also forces us to ask, what is Imu's relationship to the Holy Knights? Who is it that alerted and promoted Saint Figarland Garling to his new position as a Gorosei? And how was he informed about this, if the other Gorosei did not tell him? Basically, who told Garling of his new status? Did Imu send a messenger? Or could it have been communicated to Garling's mind, the same way Saturn communicated with the other Gorosei during the end of Egghead Island for their summoning, or the same way Imu communicated with Saturn as he was executed for his failure? If their minds are connected, if Imu did manage to communicate directly to Garling's mind, Imu revealing his existence to Garling, possibly, then that would suggest that Garling, as well as maybe the other Holy Knights, have powers that were given to them by Imu, allowing for them to be connected this way. The same way as Saturn, if that's what was taken from his body as he died. Would that mean that the Holy Knights are also immortal? They cannot die, truly making them unholy beings, the undead. But that wouldn't make sense given that Garling is clearly aged from when he was a young man, although we don't know what his hair color is supposed to look like yet. Maybe some of the Holy Knights were given immortality, like the Gorosei. At the very least, Garling should now become immortal like the other Gorosei, no longer aging, unable to die, if he's truly going to assume that position and replace Saturn. Garling was formerly the supreme commander of the Holy Knights, and now he is one of the 5 elders. So, the Holy Knights will need a new supreme commander, which means there is someone on the Holy Knights team already, or formerly under Garling's command, that was worthy of holding the same rank as him. If you followed that because it was somewhat of a ramble, there should be a new Holy Knight commander capable of leading to a similar extent as Figarland Garling's replacement. Unless Garling is somehow still the leader of the Holy Knights, so he's basically holding down 2 jobs at once. Chapter 1125 did reveal that the economy in the Holy Land is kind of rough right now. They're going through inflation and supply chain crises, and the celestial dragons are about to turn on each other as humans tend to do in times of desperation. Garling needing a second job as a Gorosei member while continuing as the Holy Knights leader is not out of the question, although again he might have been replaced for that spot too. Garling taking over for science and defense makes sense as defenses have been lacking, and Garling has commanded the military unit that is the Holy Knights. Also, with Garling's new promotion should come devil fruit powers unless he already has them, but not devil fruits as we know them, given Garling is now like the other Gorosei, or he should be. To become a star, one of the 5 elder stars or planets, you need the star seal, the star brand or pentagram that we see with the satanic pentagrams of the Gorosei summoning. A power possibly gifted to the Gorosei by Imu, and so will Garling be gifted a power by Imu, or does he already have one? Will it be another yokai or demon power with a pentagram, or will it be from an actual devil fruit? Or maybe Garling doesn't have any devil fruit powers at all, as many believe he is tied to Shanks and maybe they are both hockey masters. It's interesting to question whether Garling could have endured Joy Boy's hockey on Egghead Island. If Garling already had a yokai power before joining the Gorosei, then what does that say about the other Holy Knights? Do the other Holy Knights have yokai demon powers as well? Are the other Holy Knights aware of Imu Nerona's existence? I think the answer to this was somewhat answered by the very name of the Holy Knights, or the alternative translation, which is God's Knights or the Knights of God. The Holy Knights are specifically the Knights or bodyguards of God, or the Knights of the Gods of the Celestial Dragons in general, as in the servants of God, as in they answer directly to God or Imu, maybe. Garling's conversation with the Holy Knights gives off an adversarial vibe, doesn't it? Like he was kind of punking them. He walked in there so confidently. Mind you, Shanks walked in with such confidence before all the Gorosei. Well, there were 5 of them. Whereas St. Figarland Garling is walking in up against 4 Gorosei members. Is Oda once again alluding to Shanks by doing the same with Garling? Do the Holy Knights answer to the Gorosei, or are their Holy Knights potentially above the Gorosei in power? Do the Gorosei automatically rank higher? Or are the Gorosei and Holy Knights on the same level in terms of world government structure and authority? The Gorosei are introduced in part as the world's highest authority when we meet them the first time, I believe, or at the very least we see on Egget Island when they transform into yokai, that they are introduced once again as the Gorosei, the 5 elder planets, the highest authority in the world. So I would imagine the Gorosei are somewhat above the Holy Knights, at least in authority. But again, what about power? What about how strong they are? The Holy Knights would be the warrior class, and the Gorosei would be the managerial class. Imagine putting up Navy SEALs with devil fruits against federal judges or Congress people with devil fruit powers, if you get what I mean. Fighters versus politicians. Garling's conduct in front of the original 4 Gorosei is one where Garling comes across as their equal in both status and power, at least, or a superior. He moves a little too comfortably to have been a former subordinate of theirs. Is Garling the strongest Gorosei member now? It also makes you question whether this has happened before, whether previous Gorosei members had been executed or died decades or centuries ago and been replaced in similar fashion. Or could it be that there is a process for elevating celestial dragons to Holy Knights and from there to Gorosei members? When it comes to how strong the Holy Knights are, the leader joining the Gorosei speaks volumes. The rest shouldn't be too far behind, but like other adversarial groups in One Piece, named groups like Baroque Works, Cypherpole, CP9, and CP0, the 7 Warlords, the Yonko or 4 Emperors, the Gorosei, those groups had members that were stronger than others, and the Holy Knights will likely have members that are stronger than some others too. As for the power of the Holy Knights, maybe it will also come from Imu, or maybe not. I would imagine that given everything is upside down in One Piece, that the Holy Land, heaven, is really hell. And so what is holy is really unholy. What is angelic becomes demonic. The Knights of God are typically the angels, but in this case, the Knights of God, the Knights of Imu, should be demons, the devil's demons. The God Valley hunting tournament exposed just how diabolical the Holy Knights really are. There is nothing holy about hunting other humans or sentient beings, but that's exactly what the Holy Knights were doing. Killing people for sport. So whatever powers the Holy Knights have, whatever power Figarland Garling has to cause tension for his newly ordained membership, this power should be the opposite of holiness. It should be unholy, corrupted, evil. Something we're still getting to the bottom of after the events of Egghead, which is great because that means we can expect more yokai or demon powers to be introduced in the near future. The one ability reveal I think we're all looking forward to the most is Garling. And besides the mythology of their devil fruit powers, these Holy Knights might take some character inspiration from actual Knights of God in religion. God's archangels who existed within a hierarchy of angels in terms of their importance and power. The famous names among them belong to 7 archangels, and they are as follows. Michael, who is the protector and leader of the army of God, known as the greatest of archangels. Michael is considered one of the greatest and most powerful archangels in the Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Michael is depicted as the protector and leader of the army of God against the forces of evil. Gabriel is said to be the messenger of God, associated with communication and revelation, bringing prophecies. Raphael is a healer and a guide, sent to heal physical and spiritual ailments. The healing angel, he is called, bringing divine healing and guidance. Uriel is considered the angel of wisdom, illumination, and sacred knowledge. Raquel is an archangel whose name means friend of God, the angel of harmony and justice. Remiel is the archangel said to be representative of God's mercy, the angel of hope and resurrection. And finally, Siriel, the angel of death. However, if Imu is the sea devil, as evidence is piled up in chapter 1125, then as the devil, he should be like Satan, who became the prince of demons, the evil leader all the fallen angels serve. Fallen angels who became demons, supposedly. So instead of archangels, maybe there are names of demons out there that would better fit the Holy Knights. Or as we've somewhat established in this video, the UnHoly Knights of God. But as usual, we will have to wait and see. Don't forget to like the video, comment with your thoughts below, and subscribe. You can also find me on Twitter at the following address, at Vinland Ragnar. My Twitter page is on the screen. Also check out my other One Piece channel called Vinland Leaks, where I'll be making shorter One Piece videos and responding to your comments. And I'm trying out something entirely different with a channel called Vinland Dark, for those of you that like my darker One Piece videos. Again, links will be in the description box and pinned in the comment section below. As always, there's more to come. Until next time.